I feel like a storm is coming, if I'm gonna make it through the day, and there's no more use in running, this is something I've got to face. If I risk it all, could you break our fall? How do I live? How do I breathe? When you're not here, I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? For you, I have to risk it all, 'cause the writing's on the wall. A million shards of glass that hold me from my past. As the stars begin together and the light begins to fade, when our hope begins to shatter, know that I won't be afraid. If I risk it all, could you break our fall? How do I live? How do I breathe? When you're not here, I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? How do I live? How do I breathe? When you're not here, I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? For you, I have to risk it all, 'cause the writing's on the wall.
afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to Queen Ethelburga's Speech Day 2017. Now, before we begin the official proceedings this afternoon, there are a few housekeeping announcements that I would like to go through with you. Firstly, if you do have a mobile phone on your person, can you turn it off or onto silent now, please? We're not expecting any fire alarms in the space today, but in the unlikely event of one going off, please would you remain seated and await instructions from our principal, Stephen Jandrell, on the mic. Now, there are 3 exits in the space today. We have one either side of the stage and another just to the back of you. I'm now going to outline the procedure for leaving the auditorium after the ceremony this afternoon. The audience will remain seated as the stage party leaves by the main exit. The governors and VIPs will then leave by the same exit procedure, and all students at that time will remain seated, including the prize winners, while the parents exit the auditorium and move to the Phoenix Centre. After all the parents have left the space, prize winners will then exit, and finally the remaining students will be called in year groups to exit the auditorium. Can I request that at the end of the ceremony, parents and guardians meet their children outside of this building or in the Phoenix Centre, please, and this is to ensure a smooth exit for everybody in here this afternoon. There will be some light refreshments served in the Phoenix Centre directly after the ceremony, and prize winners' photographs will be available on the Queen Ethelburga's website from next Wednesday onwards. A final reminder that all prize winners' cups must be left on the stage immediately after the ceremony. And so, to the formal proceedings. In a few moments, we are going to welcome our Year 13 leavers and then finally the stage party, and this will all be done with a tremendous round of applause. All that remains for me to say is to wish you a very wonderful Speech Day 2017. Thank you very much.
presume we've had the QE choir, but we've missed it. So hence the stumbling there. So I'm sure you were brilliant. I'm just sorry I didn't get to hear it. Mr. Giles Brandreth, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, staff, and most importantly, our students. To say that time flies when you're having fun, and given that so many people in the last week or so have uttered the words, "Can you believe it's speech day already?" I think it's safe to say that we all must have had a great year. My first thanks of the afternoon go to my school board members, Chris Hall, Jackie Hales, Lawrence McCall, Karen Housley, and Matthew Adhead. Their time and contributions to all areas of school have been invaluable and very much appreciated. A very hearty thanks go to Steve Jandrell, Dan Machin, Kevin Aldershaw, and Lorne McNeil, along with their superb teams of staff for their hard work, commitment, and most importantly, good humour this past year. With a successful inspection under our belt in February, it was a time where I don't think any of us could have been prouder of our staff and student community, as everyone came together to show all 9 inspectors just what Queen Ethelburgers Collegiate have to offer. Thanks also go to the many teams that work behind the scenes in supporting the day-to-day running of our school. Our estates, IT, catering, housekeeping, and office staff for the work that they do to ensure that we are all looked after to a very high standard. I know that today is about our students, and rightly so. The level of achievement, opportunity, and success across all of our schools is vast, and trying to encompass this into the principal's report is always tricky. So I know that Steve Jandrell will have quite a challenge on his hands this year. However, before we focus on our students' achievements, I would just like to pay additional credit to our staff. The morning after the attack in Manchester, I was encouraged by our teams, whose first thoughts were how we reassure our students, but more importantly, I actually heard the words, "It makes me more determined to have a positive impact on the lives of young people." And our staff do. This year, we finally formalised our long-term service awards across the estate to ensure that staff within all different teams and departments were included and that their commitment was rewarded. It has been a long-standing tradition that staff members who have been here for 7 years receive their Eagle badge. Our new awards now encompass recognition for 10 years and every 5 years subsequent after that. Across our campus, a staggering 141 current staff members have been awarded their Eagles, with 5 very dedicated staff members receiving their Amber Eagle for 30 years of service. I am very pleased to say that a further 40 members of staff are due their 7 years service Eagle by the end of this year. The loyalty, commitment, and dedication that our staff contribute to our students, our collegiate, our estate, and our purpose is extensive. This is shown across the board by staff who have yet to receive their first Eagle to those with the highest milestone to date of 31 years service. So please join me in showing our appreciation of everything that our teams contribute throughout the year. Another year of successes in the classroom, on the sports pitches, and across all areas of school life. This day of reflection can really remind you just how much there is to celebrate. On an academic front, our league table positions improved yet again. In the Sunday Times A-Level A-Star A comparison league tables, QE College came 5th and QE Faculty came 8th. 6 of our students last year received offers from Oxbridge, and a further 4 have this year. Our sports teams for rugby, netball, hockey, swimming, athletics and basketball have all represented at a national level, with many successes being achieved. We have also had more students than ever playing on an international front, representing teams for England, Scotland and Hong Kong. Student enrichment also seems to be on an all-time high. Our activity programme is extensive, and our students have visited countries that feature on many people's bucket lists, myself included: Iceland, Italy, and America, to name but a few. Charity fundraising has yet again topped £16,000, with students pulling together to make a real effort with their fundraising, and it was great to see that the Race for Life included even more students and staff than ever before. The performances in King's Theatre have blown me away, with so many students taking part and such a showcase of talent. In my attempt to keep up on campus with all that is going on, I asked to be told about all the different exhibitions, events and activities that take place, so that when time permits, I'm able to attend. Well, that's optimistic, I can tell you, because trying to keep up with all you guys is impossible. Can we please take a moment to congratulate our students for all of their achievements this year? Our capital investment has continued in an extensive manner this year, with our estate infrastructure benefiting heavily. Many of you know that we like to be prepared for the what if or Armageddon, and as such, we invest in our infrastructure accordingly. Last month saw completion of our new increased electrical supply. Sadly, our biggest and most expensive electrical project to date that's taken 4 years in the planning is buried underground. Perhaps slightly boring, I agree, but it is essential and I'm pleased to say now complete. In addition, a huge effort has gone in from our estates and grounds team to ensure that additional labour and time has been put to our estate, and I'm sure you will agree that we are looking better than ever. Our estates team are set to step up pace even further for the summer holidays, as work begins on refurbishment throughout Chapter House, a new reception base in the main car park, further staff accommodation and boarding, and the completion of the site services building behind Court Apartments. A busy summer ahead, just how we like it. As I sat down to write my speech this year, I thought back to being in the same place awaiting inspiration last year. At the time, Britain was about to have a general election and faced a challenging question of do we leave the European Union. This year, it's election number 2. I woke to the news where the words of turmoil, chaos and uncertainty were repeated over and over. Put this together with the latest tragic events across the country, and that confusion and negativity is impounded even further. Whatever the outcome of any event in the UK or the world, we have to carry on regardless. There is a saying that you cannot change what life throws at you, but you can adapt the way you deal with it. Fear or uncertainty gets us nowhere. As a collegiate, we aim to tackle everything we can in a proactive, positive and sensible manner. It is the positivity, however, that is the crucial element. In times where interest rates are discussed, I am grateful that we have no bank borrowings and we're financially secure. In times where funding for education is looking to be reduced to fund other services across the country, I am reassured that we don't have to make those tough choices and our reinvestment year on year remains unfaltered. In times where we don't know who's going to be running the country shortly, I'm incredibly proud that we have a team who are committed to our college, our ethos, and our future. And in times when there is so much uncertainty in the world, I'm pleased that we're able to offer a stability within our own community, that our students and staff take the time to support one another in their times of need, concern, and proud moments too. As a collegiate, we're constantly striving for better. If we were ever in a position that we didn't need to do this, then I'd worry and be out of a job. Our teams are driven to ensure that we provide the very best for your children. And it is you, the students, who make it all worthwhile. It was incredibly inspiring to see students from all 4 of our schools fill the sports hall when we had the Brownlee brothers visit back in November. To walk in and see the entire community in one room for the first time in many years made me hugely proud of you all and what we have here. It is seeing how you take up the opportunities that are made available to you, seeing how you support each other and come together as a true community, the honest feedback you give and your approach to life, seeing you strive to achieve the Hill Standard, to be the best that I can with the gifts that I have, and doing it with confidence and character, 2 of the strongest qualities that I see in our students throughout all the year groups. And finally, my attention turns to our Year 13, who I have no doubt are looking bright-eyed, full of vim and vigour after last night's celebration. Your time with us is finally over. You have earned your eagles, and I sincerely hope that you wear them with pride. The QE community is always here, and whilst I know you will run from the gates cheering, please remember that you are always welcome to come back and visit. In the meantime, a few bits of advice. Give credit, but take the blame. Don't be the talker in the movie. I know because I am one. When opening presents, no one likes a good guesser. Never judge your partner's choices because, after all, you are one of them. and one that is close to my heart. If you do something, do it with passion or not at all. And my final one, perhaps the most important, that if you've made your point, stop talking. So on that note, I will wish you all in year 13 the very best of luck with your future. To you all, I hope you have a fantastic summer. And to the parents, thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Brandon. That was marvellous. Charles Brandreth, Chair and members of the Collegiate Board, honoured guests, parents, friends, but most importantly, pupils of QE. Today, in relation to the achievements of our pupils this year, I'm afraid that all I can do is this. It's the sound of scratching surfaces. There have been so many individual and corporate successes that I can only hope to give you just a flavour if we're not to be here all night. As you have heard, our results the last summer were outstanding and placed us again amongst the top schools in the country. I'll not repeat the statistics, but their purpose is to provide opportunities for our pupils, and these both our college and faculty students have seized. In terms of top universities for last year, 3 went to Cambridge, 3 went to Oxford, 3 to Imperial, and 21 to UCL. So 30 of our students took places at universities in the worldwide top 10. 19 to Manchester, 18 to Warwick, and good numbers to Bristol, Surrey, King's College, London and Leeds. In terms of the most popular courses, 41 are studying business management courses, 24 economics, 13 law, 12 mathematics, 10 engineering, 8 sports, 7 medicine, 7 psychology, 6 politics, 6 fashion, and so it goes on and on. In terms of the breadth, there are students studying theatre lighting design, popular music production, creative music technology, medical imaging, product design engineering, marine biology, geography with study abroad, actuarial science, aerospace engineering, and aeronautical engineering, again to name but a few. Internationally, students went to a range of the world's top hospitality universities, including in Switzerland, Spain, and Argentina. Others are studying a variety of university courses in Spain, Monaco, Switzerland, Italy, Poland, and New York and Seattle in the United States. Year 13 students in front of us have received offers of similar quality and breadth, and we look forward to celebrating the securing of their places with them over the summer and observing their future careers. They are a hugely talented collection of young people who have worked extremely hard and deserve every success. Well done. This year, 90 students received Senior Mathematics Challenge certificates, showing they are amongst the finest of this elite group of the best UK mathematicians. Joy Cheng was best in QE, and Ian Liu the best in Year 13. In the invitation-only second round, Anastasia Piskareva achieved a distinction. In senior team competition, Beth Holmes, Maggie Chen, Sophia Jiang, and Ada Zhang were third out of 23 teams, narrowly missing second place in this highly demanding national competition. In the lower age group, 47 students received certificates, with Reg Yang best in school and Jerry Zhang best in Year 10. Reg will attend the prestigious Maths Summer Camp for the country's elite mathematicians. In the second round, Nigel Luo was in the top 100 mathematicians in the UK, and Reg Yang achieved the distinction. In the highly prestigious Mathematical Olympiad for Girls, a national competition for the very best mathematicians, 2 students were awarded distinctions, and both also received an honourable mention from the United Kingdom Mathematics Trust for the quality and detail of their solutions. For this considerable national achievement, and to represent the excellence in mathematics across the collegiate, I'd like Beth Holmes and Lulu Beatson to come to the stage. A thorn between two roses. In engineering, 5 students applied for the highly prized Arkwright scholarships. 2 of these, Thomas Moss and Douglas Sword, have passed stages 1 and 2 and have entered the final stage interviews. We wish them well for the outcome this summer. A QE team participated in the engineering scheme, a national collaboration between the Royal Academy of Engineering and multinational corporations. In partnership with Siemens Rail Automation, they designed and built a system for monitoring trackside equipment critical to safety. It reports faults such as excessive vibration and changes in orientation through the mobile phone network. They gained high-level acknowledgement from the company, who are considering it as a prototype to improve reliability and reduce maintenance costs. Each member of the team was awarded the Crest Gold Prize, the highest level available within the program. To acknowledge their considerable success in this initiative and to represent the team, I welcome Harry Smith to the stage. 5 post-16 students entered the Royal Society of Chemistry's internationally acclaimed Chemistry Olympiad. Lulu Beatson and Katie Zeng achieved gold and silver medals respectively. In the Cambridge Chemistry Challenge, Lulu Beatson won the coveted Gold Award, while Adam Anachanatikal and Kitty Wong both won prestigious silver awards. Anastasia Price and Sarah Franks took part in the Biology Olympiad and represented the school with distinction. They were rewarded with an annual membership to Bionet, an affiliate organisation of the Royal Society of Biology. In geography, fieldwork made a welcome return as a compulsory part of all examination courses, and this has been a major focus for this year. Students embraced this, enjoying many fieldwork days at a variety of sites across the north of England, in all weathers, he says with great feeling. Amongst a variety of history activities, A-level students spent a day in London attending lectures and activities on the Tudors. The highlight was a talk by the renowned historian Dr. David Starkey on the many splendid subject of Henry VIII. As an aside, recently a younger student asked if I knew why Henry VIII had so many wives. I said that there was a variety of evidence-based theories as to his motivation. She said, I just think he liked to chop and change. In social sciences, our young enterprise company Atmosphere won 2 awards in the regional competition. These were for the best innovation, entrepreneurship and business, as well as the best social, ethical and environmental business. The company created a memory book to help people with their families deal with dementia. So successful was this project that the Skipton Building Society are selling copies in their branches and taking it to the Yorkshire Show. Recently, we received an email from them. It said, one of our customers purchased a book recently. As we have helped his mother all of her life and she has suddenly become diagnosed with dementia, he now looks after all of her affairs. And when we sat down and discussed the book, he thought it was a great idea and he fully supports what the group are trying to do, raise awareness. The customer became quite emotional. So please pass on the feedback to the students that this book is not only raising awareness, but it is making a difference in people's lives. To collect the certificate for the Young Enterprise team, we welcome somebody who has worked tirelessly with the design, sales and marketing of the company and product. Ladies and gentlemen, Ellie Neat. Our computing students should be proud of their results in this year's Oxford University Bebris Computational Thinking Challenge. It is a collaboration with industrial sponsors and involves skills and techniques that software engineers use to write the programs and smartphone apps upon which we all rely. Over 200 students from years 8 to 13 entered in November, and overall we were in the top 20% of results scored nationally from approximately 80,000 candidates. As you can imagine, QE is a fertile environment for modern languages, and a great deal goes on in this area. One achievement, however, has been truly outstanding. Amongst other award winners in the challenging UK Linguistics Olympiad at advanced level, Jianjing Qin and Shuria Shiro gained bronze awards, but another student won a gold, putting her amongst the top competitors nationwide. Could we welcome Alice Robinson to the stage to receive this accolade? In March, English students went to Blackburn to listen to the eminent and internationally known linguist, Professor David Crystal. He talked about the history and character of text messaging and the importance and relevance of grammar in the study of English. Next year, he'll be visiting QE, where he will be discussing, amongst other things, the consequences of the global status of English for the future development of the language. In the Independent Schools Association National Essay Competition, adjudicators noted a particularly high standard of writing. It was then to their credit that Stephen Chu and Lim Fei Sun's essays received certificates of high commendation. John Goddard's feedback addressed both students' controlled and careful arguments and remarked that their work had challenged him to reconnect again with some wonderful poets and poetry. A would-be scriptwriter, Lin Fei Sun also completed a Future Learn course in fictional writing, which focused on the creation of character and involved listening to and acting on the advice of established writers such as Louis de Bernier, Alex Garland, or Monique Roffey. Recently, another student received a commendation for her excellent contribution to the Woolf Essay Competition run by Newnham College, Cambridge. The brief began with a quote from Virginia Woolf. "Women have sat indoors all these 3 million years, so that by this time the very walls are permeated by their creative force." And the question was, in relation to Woolf's statement, explore the symbolism of home in literature, make reference to at least one example of prose and poetry written before 1928. To celebrate her success in such a demanding genre, please welcome Cassandra Summers-Jost to the stage. The vibrancy of our work in art is seen throughout the year around the campus, and the richness provided by our wide cultural mix is a joy to see. No surprise then that there is again national success in the Independent Schools Association art competition, with second places being achieved by Josephine Eckenham and Elisaveta Matriva, and first prize in the Key Stage 5 drawing class going to Igor Savenkov, who is now studying architecture at the University of Cardiff. In music, it has been rewarding to see so many internal and external performances. The choir have entertained in York for late-night Christmas shopping, in local care homes, and in many more formal settings. A highlight was a masterclass with Charlie Gower-Smith, a respected conductor and choir leader. This led to a performance at the York Community Choir Festival at the Joseph Rowntree Theatre, recorded live for Hospital Radio. 3 months of grueling rehearsals and a day working alongside professional opera singers on stage, led by artistic director John Bezic, culminated in a superb performance of Lakme by the acclaimed Swansea City Opera and QE singers. A unique opportunity for our singers to experience one of the most complex and rewarding musical and dramatic forms. An Indian music workshop with Jessie Bannister. Gospel choir workshop with Tyndale Thomas, awarded an MBE in the Queen's Birthday Honours List for his work in integrating gospel and inspirational music within the music industry. A piano festival with a masterclass by concert pianist Joshua Kelly in a competitive concert performances by our pupils, one by Thomas Lynn. A summer concert that featured the QE Choir, Orchestra, School of Rock, Jazz Group, Chamber Choir, and an excellent BTEC performances. Add to that the offer of a music scholarship for Daniel Dewan to Leeds College of Music on the strength of his audition, and the fact that all Year 13 BTEC students have received offers from their first choice universities, and you see just a small part of the rich tapestry that is music at QE. In drama, 31 students from years 3 to 11 undertook Lambda lessons and completed examinations to an extremely high standard. The senior production this year was John Retallack's Risk, an award-winning piece exploring the lives of inner-city teens and what it takes to make them feel alive and valued in today's society. From 80 who auditioned, 15 highly talented students formed the cast. A visiting professional Channel 4 presenter wrote to us afterwards and said that the performance was superbly interpreted. Risk was a fascinating production with a terrific cast. Special mention goes to Luzmiro Alexandra for his intensely energetic and captivating performance, which won him a place on the books of a London acting agency. However, for many, the high point of the dramatic and musical year was our performance of Phantom of the Opera, one of the most challenging productions available to schools. With a band of 25 players and a cast of over 75, this was a spectacular success. There were superb performances, amongst others, from Jack Gallagher as the Phantom and Brandon Leno as Raoul, who are likened to the standard of West End professionals. And that was by actual West End leading actors who paid a surprise visit on the last night. The production culminated in a charity gala dinner and performance on the final night in conjunction with Knaresborough Rotary Club, in which over £3,000 was raised for charities Shelterbox and ABF, the Soldiers' Charity. To celebrate the success of this immense production, we are now highly privileged to listen to a performance by Anna Hartley-Roberts, star of the show in the leading role of Christine, singing "Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again." A certificate doesn't quite do it somehow. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. It's difficult to believe that last year's sporting success could be bettered, but here we are. Individual international honours came thick and fast across a range of sports. Over the summer, Megan Wetton gained a bronze at the Under-18 World Kickboxing Championships. Ewan Gray represented England Under-17's independent schools football team. Helena Humans represented England Under-18s at hockey. In rugby, Sam Pocklington, Eddie Brown and Harry Butler represented England counties Under-18s. Henry Wright toured with the Under-18 National Independent School Lambs. Jake Barlow represented Hong Kong Under-18s and Under-20s. Hugo Tasker was part of the Scotland training squad, and Sean Crouch and Ben White of the England Under-18 squad, before injury ruled Ben out for the season. Gwyn Wallace was selected for the England Netball Under-17s and has made the England Under-19 development squad, while Sam Edwards and Harry Edmonds were selected for the Under-15 England Rugby development squad. Outside school, Abigail Taylor, taught by Rio Paralympic flag bearer Celie Pearson, had an amazing dressage season. Particular accomplishments include becoming national MyQuest Under-25 elementary champion and the highest scoring individual member of the home international England team. She trains this summer with Daryl Thickett and Olympic gold medalist Laura Tomlinson. In athletics, the intermediate age boys won the English schools regional round in qualifying for the nationals, and Edward Lake will represent North Yorkshire at 200 metres at the English schools competition. Cricket have posted good wins against county under-17 and 18 teams representing Cheshire, Cumbria, Nottinghamshire, Northumbria and Durham. They've also played their first ever fixture against the prestigious MCC. QE swimmers attended the Independent Schools Association North of England Championships, finishing second. From this, 11 swimmers represented the North at national finals at the Olympic Park in London, where the team picked up 18 medals, of which 12 were golds. Our footballers completed the double, winning both the Under-18 North Yorkshire Schools County Cup and League Cup. They also finished as runners-up in the Yorkshire and Humberside Schools Academy League. In the first year of entering a team into the indoor competition, the first 11 girls hockey team reached the national indoor finals. They also reached the National Under-18 Independent Schools Hockey Cup quarterfinals, where they narrowly lost out in the last minute to the eventual winners. The senior basketball team play in the highest leagues available, which are the Junior National League and the Academies League. They finished second in both, continuing their trend of making the playoffs each and every year. In rugby, QE seniors were crowned North of England Premier League Colleges champions, while in sevens they won both the Newark and the Queen Elizabeth tournaments and reached the quarter-finals of the National Schools Sevens. Both the Under-13 and Under-14 teams were also crowned ISA National Sevens champions. To represent rugby and to celebrate their international success, I congratulate Sam Pocklington and Eddie Brown. Here starts the annual humiliation of standing between the rugby players and the netball players. In rugby, QE seniors were crowned North of England, in netball. First 11 were crowned the champions of the Harrogate and Craven, North Yorkshire, ISA Nationals and British Colleges National Cups. As well as this, they finished up runners-up in the Yorkshire Regional, British Colleges National Premier League and the National Schools Finals. Reaching the finals of 4 of the 5 national competitions represents an unparalleled level of success. To celebrate these fantastic achievements, and on behalf of the team, we welcome England international Gwyn Wallace and team captain Ellen Hurst. Undoubtedly, this has been our most successful sporting year to date, but there was one other tiny victory that I enjoyed recently. When one young lady seemed oblivious to the charms of a particularly large and virile sports student, he said, "I suppose you prefer men who eat quiche." She said, "I prefer men who can spell quiche." Co-curricular activities are a vital component in giving our students the skills and confidence to be successful, and to see the ever-growing opportunities that we are able to offer is a source of great pride. David Dobrovolsky exemplifies the success of many. In addition to gliding with the CCF, he has completed the Duke of Edinburgh Award, learned to scuba dive, mastered skiing, and become a qualified first aider and national pool lifeguard. Not a bad year's work in addition to his academic studies. There have been awards in archery, martial arts, self-defense, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Large numbers of students are involved in the Duke of Edinburgh Award scheme, and we particularly congratulate Charlotte Cox, Caroline Dale, Megan Ireland, and Lucy Williamson for their achievement of the Gold Award recently. Within the CCF over the last year, in addition to routine training, the students have participated in a variety of activities, including 2 weekend training exercises at Warkop and Ripon, a week's overseas exercise in Cyprus, a week's adventurous training in Snowdonia, a regimental dinner at the officers' mess in York, a brigade shooting competition, several days shooting on ranges and on the dismounted close combat trainer, flying experience at RAF Linton on Ouse, and gliding at RAF Leeming. With a very successful biennial inspection conducted by Air Commodore Stewart, it has been a great year for the CCF, and still to come is the annual camp at Beckingham. Harry Cornforth was promoted to corporal and was the most improved Army cadet, but our CCF Cadet of the Year is Flight Sergeant Christopher Jones. Since January, we've doubled the opportunities available to our students to volunteer in the local community. New ventures are to assist at a care home for residents with dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and volunteering at a local community Scout or Girl Guide unit, where older students play an integral role in enabling our borders to meet the children in the local community. Our standout volunteers this year received a volunteering award for their leadership, mentoring and support of these Scout and Girl Guide units. To receive congratulation for this and for their huge number of other contributions to the wider life of QE, I'd like to welcome Jasmine Houston, Helen Zakor, and Harriet Chambers to the stage. Over 300 students have been involved in residential trips and travel this year, including outdoor adventures for Year 5 and 6, performing arts in London, sightseeing in Dublin, and a residential visit to Cambridge University for students to gain experience of their academic insight programme. Further afield, students have mastered skills with the CCF in Cyprus, skied in the Italian Alps, went scuba diving in the clear blue seas off Gozo, achieving 14 PADI open water dive and 7 advanced open water divers qualifications, a staggering accomplishment in just 1 week. Looking forward to next year, proposed trips could take our students across 4 continents, with conservation work in Asia, school projects in Africa, an outback adventure in Australia, and city ski and surf experiences here in the UK. Don't delay. Get signed up if you're here next year. The Charity Committee has had a very busy year supporting many good causes. Apart from raising in excess of £16,800, we have raised awareness of some lesser-known charities. Amongst those we have supported have been our house charities, Lepra Teenage Cancer Trust, the Brain Tumour Charity and York Arclight, but also the Meningitis Trust, the Stroke Association, Daisy Garland and Macmillan Cancer, to name but a few. We have had over 40 students involved in our charity committee, and they are a core of hard-working, selfless young people, which is great to see. To represent those involved with our charity work, we would like to honour 2 students who have been incredibly dedicated and hard-working. They have always volunteered no matter what the job and could be relied upon to organise and run events at any time. They have truly embodied what it is to give service to others. Could we please give a warm and deserved welcome to Karina Burcher and Edward Sargent. So, we come to the end of another academic year, and what is clear is that little of what I have outlined today could have happened without the immense commitment and hard work of our collegiate board, staff from all areas of the schools and estate, and our incredibly motivated students. I wholeheartedly thank every one of you for your commitment. At this time of year, we say goodbye to some and wish you every good fortune for the future, and thank you for your unique contributions to QE. On the staff side, however, there's one person to whom we owe a particular debt of gratitude. Her job has expanded by over 10 times since she joined us in 2001, and her post is one with perhaps the most direct responsibility of all. Sue Ginger is not leaving us, and is remaining at the highest level of collegiate management with responsibility for the crucial areas of safeguarding and complex welfare. But she is standing down after over 16 years of dedicated service as head of boarding, leading it from humble beginnings to one that is one of the biggest boarding operations in the whole of the UK. Could we please show our appreciation to Sue in the usual manner? From September, Miss Papaglimis will oversee boarding in her role as head of pastoral, with Miss Blakely taking direct responsibility for junior and senior boarding, and Mr. Ledson for sixth form boarding. We wish them well in their new posts as we look forward to another year of purposeful achievement. Year 13, as you leave us with your huge range of talents and abilities, we wish you every success and happiness for the future, confident in the knowledge that you will soar like eagles. Thank you very much.
Reflections on Queen Ethelburgers. Honoured guests, ladies, gentlemen, and the leavers of Year 13. Before our guest speaker shares with us some of his insight and wisdom, I would like to take this opportunity to offer some of my own insight onto my memories of QE. As an aside, though, this is the final version of many drafts, all of which my mum called boring. I can always rely on her for some constructive criticism. Hopefully, this latest version is not as snooze-worthy as she said, and offers my take on my time at QE. To say that we as Year 13 are leavers seems to me to be somehow inaccurate. Yes, we may be physically leaving QE for pastures new, however, the experiences that we have all shared will never leave. and will in many ways continue to attach us to a place that many of us has come to see as a home, and certainly as far more than a school. To begin to reflect on my experiences of QE, it seems logical to start at the beginning. I can remember the first days and weeks with clarity, in particular the uncertainty of leaving the previous safety of my old school and being dropped into an entirely new environment. However, despite the usual new school nerves, I quickly came to realise that I'd been presented with a fantastic 2-year opportunity to really finish my education strongly and, more importantly, develop myself as a person. I think the greatest observation I can make looking back on my time here is the extent to which my personal horizons have been broadened. Today, I'm proud to call people my friends who come from all corners of the globe. It almost seems ironic that after spending my life in a small Yorkshire village, the breadth of people I've had the privilege of knowing is so very far removed from the usual 65-year-old enjoying their retirement. As well as broadening my personal horizons, QE has been a place that has offered me countless opportunities to both improve myself and create some lasting memories. Thinking about it, opportunity seems like quite an apt theme for the rest of this speech. I haven't really decided on that, but I'm going to kind of go with it. One of the biggest opportunities I've had in my time has been to become head boy. I'll be honest, now that I've finished my time, it was never part of some well-constructed plan to rise to power. Rather, it was all part of my cunning plan to have no plan. However, I don't wish this speech to be the Stephen Chew show, as I'm trying to be somehow summative of a collective experience. To this end, what an experience serving as a prefect has been. I'd like to note at this point the absence of the word positive, which I'm sure both Helen and Anastasia will attest to when I ask them to make yet another rota. However, it hasn't all been misery and hardship for us, and it has been my pleasure to work with such a set of capable and hard-working people. I hope that once we've all left and can look back on it, we will be able to say it was all worth it in the end. However, I do have the suspicion that Ben White would challenge me on that last point. Outside of academics and serving as a prefect, central to my time at QE has been my involvement in the First 15. While it has been made clear to me that this speech is not a eulogy to the rugby team, it is hard to overstate the importance that the players of 2015 to 17 have had in shaping both my time here and the person that I am today. On and off the pitch, there have been some incredible highs, and these are the memories that I will carry with me and always treasure to whatever destination the path of my life may lead. I'm sure many of my fellow teammates here today will remember the elation of lifting the British Colleges Cup in 2015-16, as well as the 29-5 victory over Sedbergh at Rosslyn Park that same year. Go on. More recently, I'm sure we'll all remember how I got my team nickname of Captain Cry-A-Lot after I couldn't quite hold back the pride after victory over Myerscough. For me, I will always look back at that moment at the point that I realised what it was to be a QE man. The moment didn't belong to a single player on the pitch. It was numbers 1 to 23, the Blue Wall, together and united. To have had the honour to have been captain for not only that match, but the whole season, is something that fills me with immense pride. Although I won't be on the pitch with the boys next year, I will take with me the stories that will always make me laugh. Unfortunately, none of these stories have quite made it past the censorship of this speech, although I do have an uncut version if anybody is interested. On a serious note though, I have made friends for life, and these are the people that have shaped my time here. It is the Ben Whites, the Hugo Taskers and the Henry Wrights of this world that really make the days worthwhile, and have amongst many others made my time here a time that I'll never forget. As well as our friends shaping our time at QE, we are blessed with some of the best teaching staff that anyone could possibly ask for. I think it is sometimes easy to take for granted the tireless work that they can put in to not only teach us, but to support us on every journey that we take here. However, there are two sides to every coin, and it is at this point that I'd like to remind Mr. Everett that I'm still not impressed that he managed to coerce me into cycling 100 miles on a watt bike. I can safely tell you all that no amount of padded shorts can possibly make 5 hours on a bike seat any more comfortable. Finally, I think I would be remiss not to reflect on the fact that my time here has been honestly touched by the compassion and understanding shown to me by particular members of staff. For all the good times that QE has brought me, there have also been challenges, both personal and academic. It is at this moment that I'd like to extend my most sincere and heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Askin. the tireless and ever-caring head of Year 13 faculty. I'm sure many of my fellow Year 13s will agree with me in saying that without her dedication and patience for a lot of us, we simply wouldn't be where we are today. Certainly for me, she's been so instrumental in getting me to the version that I am in today. I honestly can't express enough how grateful I am for the time that she's put in and the understanding that she has given me. She's seen me through some of the most difficult times of my life and really makes true the statement that not all heroes wear capes. I feel as though now I've gone on quite long enough, so I'll attempt to wrap this up. I don't pretend to have captured the experiences of everybody in this room. There are so many more stories and so many more details that I've left unsaid, many of which for good reason. However, I do hope I have succeeded in pulling together the common threads of everyone's experiences. I guess now we've arrived at the end, I hope we can all find time to reflect in our own way about what our time here has meant. There have been great times, and there have been hard times. However, as we all step out of the doors for the last time, out into the car park, and through the gates into the world beyond, I think we should remember that it is a see you later, rather than a final goodbye. Though some of you will never return to QE, the mark that is left on us all will never fade. And as I, for one, step out into the wide world beyond the gates, I'll be proud to say that I am a QE man. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado from myself, I would now like to introduce Mr. Giles Brandreth as this afternoon's keynote speaker. So, some of us may know Mr. Brandreth as being the author of The 7 Secrets of Happiness, as well as from his numerous appearances on television and in theatre. Ladies and gentlemen, Giles Brandreth.
Well, he's pretty amazing, isn't he? Marvellous. Well done, him. Well, I don't know where Mrs. Chu is sitting. Where are you? Don't you think he passed muster? I think he was brilliant. It was moving. It was powerful. I don't know why you've been so critical. There's no reason. He's fantastic. And you know, people may not know this. He's going to St. Andrews, where he's going to be reading history, and will probably end up marrying one of the royal family. So I think the future is completely assured. What a powerful presentation that was. And I love the way he talked about friendship, both from his fellow students and from the staff. And also, very interesting, you know, people like me, whenever we come to Yorkshire, we're reminded that Yorkshire thinks it is the world. But the joy of Queen Ethelburga's is that this is the school that has brought the world to Yorkshire, which is pretty impressive. So, good afternoon. My name is Giles Brandreth. I'm thrilled to be here. If you're wondering why I am here, then already we have something in common. Stephen didn't mention that I used to be a member of Parliament, and I was a member of Parliament until the people spoke. In my case, they spoke in no uncertain terms. Some of you may have felt rejection in your lives, and some of you may feel it when you don't get one of these multifarious cups and certificates. Do not worry if you don't win anything today. We now live in a country where actually coming second really counts as coming first. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm no longer a member of Parliament, though, I want to make that clear. I was a member of Parliament, as I say, until the people spoke. And in my case, they did really speak in no uncertain terms. During the election, when I last was defeated, my wife actually put our house in the constituency up for sale. I said, this isn't sending out quite the right signal, darling. She said, Giles, the signal is immaterial. These people really don't like you. And so it proved. As she said to me, Giles, for you, when one door closes, it's shut. What we're going to do at the moment is we're going to present these prizes, and I'm going to shake your hand if you are a prize winner. And I want you to feel that it is something memorable. This is obviously a memorable day for people here. And to make this memorable, I want to emphasize that it's not just any old hand that the principal is invited down to shake your hand. When I was in government, I became something called a Lord Commissioner of the Treasury. This is a minister at the Treasury who is both the Treasury whip and also signs the government checks. Every piece of government expenditure in this country is signed off by a member of the government, and that is the Lord Commissioner of the Treasury. And the last check I signed was for £136 billion. Serious money in those days. Now, I appreciate you would hardly get the Royal Bank of Scotland through a difficult morning, but in my time it represented big bucks. And with these huge checks, they said you can't sign the check alone. There has to be a co-signatory for the multi-billion pound checks. And I said, well, who will the co-signatory be? And they said, well, the co-signatory will be, it will be the head of the Treasury. It's HM Treasury. You'll be signing these huge checks with HM, Her Majesty. And so it came to pass that I would go down the Mall to sign these huge checks with the Queen. And the first time I did this, I wasn't sure what the etiquette was, which of us should sign the check first. Didn't want to say after you, didn't want to patronize her just because she's a woman. Got to be so careful. Nor did I want to pull rank on Her Majesty simply because I was the elected one. Anyway, she was holding the pen. She seemed to think she should sign first, so I let her. But on the last occasion, when we signed this huge check for £136 billion, Social Security payments first quarter, I said to the Queen after we'd both signed the check, I said, Your Majesty, I wonder which of the two of us it is, Your Majesty, the government doesn't entirely trust. She had no answer to that. She is a good woman, and her husband is a good man. He's the man who said, if ever you see a man opening the car door for his wife, it's either a new car or a new wife. I eventually lost my seat, and that made me rather sad. And I had a bad year, actually, because the year I lost my seat as a member of Parliament, they say you shouldn't take it seriously, but you do, it was a bad year for me. My father also died, and I had a younger brother, sadly, who died. My sister, I had 3 sisters, one of them died, and my best friend from school died. So, and my wife kept soldiering on, anyway. Anyway, I was feeling a bit low, and I thought I need some help, and I was listening to the radio, and I heard on the radio the voice of an interesting psychiatrist, a man called Professor Anthony Clare. He was an Irish psychiatrist, and he worked out of Dublin. And he had a radio program in those days called In the Psychiatrist's Chair. And he sounded to me like a wise man. And I went to see him. And I went to see him in Dublin, and I said, Professor Clare, I'm looking for the elixir of happiness. And he said, well, if it's an elixir you're after, Dublin's not a bad place to start. And I said, no, I'm serious. I want to find out what makes people happy. And so I slipped into the psychiatrist's chair. And while I was sitting there, the first thing we talked about were my parents. Now, my parents were the vintage of your grandparents or even great-grandparents. And my parents always talked about the Second World War as the happiest time of their lives. And I asked this psychiatrist, I said, why is it that my parents talk about the Second World War as the happiest time of their life? Because my mother, during the Second World War, 1939 to 1945, my mother lived in London with my 2 sisters who were babies then, and bombs were falling. Bombs were falling literally on the flats and houses near where my mother lived with my sisters. And yet she talked about it as the happiest time of her life. And my father, during the Second World War, was in the army for 6 years, from 1939 to in fact, for 7 years until 1946, my father was in the army. And during those war years, my father was at the front line, throughout the war, at the front, risking his life. Day in, day out, the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen were risking their lives during the Second World War. And yet my father talked about this as the happiest time of his life. So I said to this psychiatrist, why is it that people so often talk about the Second World War as the happiest time of their lives? And he said, oh, that's quite easy to explain. Your mother, yes, she was in London, bombs were falling, but there was a sense of community, a sense of communal spirit, a sense of shared purpose and endeavor, a sense of shared values. And that always makes people very happy indeed. And yes, your father, during the Second World War as a soldier, the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen at the front, they were risking their lives on a daily basis, but they were also being tested. Every day they were being tested. And all the research shows that being tested is a key element to finding happiness. You very rarely find happy people sitting around not doing very much. An engagement with life, being challenged, being tested is key to finding happiness. And today I arrive at this most unusual school, 4 schools in one collegiate body, thousands of you, literally 1,600 of you from 50 different countries, all types of human being here gathered in this one community. And instantly I arrived, I realized this was a happy community. And the more I've seen of the school, the staff, the students, hearing your achievements, I realize the reason that you are happy. There is here a community spirit, a sense of shared values. You actually believe in the same things together. That makes you happy. And all of you, in different ways, are being tested. The head boy we've just heard, tested over the last few years, come out on top. It's fantastic. That's why he is happy. All of you who have achieved and are going on to whatever you're going on to, you've been tested here, challenged here. And the more challenged you've been, the more tested. Curiously, that's one of the reasons that you're happy now. And you need to go on being tested, being challenged, and finding yourselves within communities where the values are the ones that you share. And this extraordinary school has been the foundation of that, and it's something that will go on throughout your lives. One of the reasons that I'm interested in the Second World War is that his name has been mentioned already because a number of you do the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme. And I was the chairman of a charity that the Duke of Edinburgh was involved in for very many years, and he's a remarkable man. One of the things I learnt from the Duke of Edinburgh was that Napoleon used to say that if you want to understand a person, you've got to realize what the world was like in the year that person turned 21. And it's interesting in relation to, for example, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, that they turned 21 during the Second World War. And they reflect the values of that generation. For example, you've never seen the Queen or the Duke of Edinburgh crying in public. They're not people who hold hands in public, because love doesn't always consist in gazing into one another's eyes. Love sometimes consists in walking and looking in the same direction. They're different people because of the time when they were born. You will reflect the people you are at about the age you're 21. The values of people, their approach to the world is different at different times. But it's very interesting to talk and meet people of different generations. I had an amusing experience with the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh. I wrote a book about them, and I found myself attending the Royal Variety performance with them one year. You can imagine how much they look forward to that. And I was sitting in the royal box next to the Duke of Edinburgh. And I have to tell you, sitting in the royal box next to Prince Philip for the 3 hours of the Royal Variety performance is like being trapped in the commentary box at the Eurovision Song Contest with Graham Norton on speed. You get 3 hours of non-stop cynical banter. Most of it was Greek to me, but I got the gist. But the point of the story is this. The climax, the finale of the Full Monty that particular year was an excerpt. The climax of the show was the Full Monty. That was the finale. They did an excerpt from the Full Monty as the finale of the Royal Variety show. I don't know if any of you have seen the film of the Full Monty or the stage show. It's a show about 18 strapping lads who have become unemployed steelworkers from Sheffield, and they form a male striptease group, like the Chippendales. And that's what they thought was an appropriate entertainment to set before the Queen, now a lady of 91 summers, and His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, who was 96 a week ago last Saturday. That's what they thought these 2 old codgers would really enjoy. Anyway, there was the Duke of Edinburgh, getting quite excited in the royal box, because he was looking at the programme and he saw the word finale, his spirits soared. And then he saw that it was the Full Monty, so he turns to the Queen and said, "Oh, look, Cabbage, we've reached the finale, and you see what they're doing this year. They're doing the Full Monty as the finale, the Full Monty." "Oh, I think we're going to enjoy the finale this year." He said, "It's the full Monty." He kept repeating it, the full Monty. He said, "I imagine," he said, "the full Monty, it's going to be a tribute to Field Marshal Montgomery in the Battle of El Alamein." Well, I was appalled by that, and I said to him, you know what is actually going to happen, sir? And I told him, I said, you know, it's going to be people coming onto the stage and taking all their kit off. And indeed, the people did come onto the stage and they took all their kit off. I said to him, I'm so sorry about this and the Queen being here. And he leant towards me and he said, "You needn't worry. She's been to Papua New Guinea. She's seen it all before." But the reason I was thinking about that today is that when I was your age, the age particularly of the year 13 who were going to leave, I wrote to lots of interesting people. And one of the people I wrote to was this man, Field Marshal Montgomery. And some of you may even have heard of him, because I know a number of you come from military families of different kinds. Field Marshal Montgomery was a famous general during the Second World War, regarded by some as a difficult human being, but he was clearly a remarkable man. Anyway, I wrote to him, and I asked him, he was then a very old man, but he was a field marshal, and I asked him for advice, and I've kept the advice that he gave me, and I'm going to share it with you now, because he wrote me quite a short letter, because I'd said, "Can you give me guidance for life? I'm about to leave school." So I was 18, the age you are now, some of you, and I wrote to this man saying, "Please advise me, I'm leaving school. What do I need to know about life?" And this is what the Field Marshal told me. He wrote a very brief letter. He said, "Dear Brandreth," no first names in those days, "Dear Brandreth." And then he wrote a letter, 1, 2, 3 points, and he signed off at the bottom, "Yours," and all he put was Montgomery of Alamein. And these were the 3 points, the 3 things you need to succeed in life. 1, moral courage. Always do what you believe to be right. 2, complete integrity. No lies, no deceptions, honesty and transparency. 3, ceaseless hard work. And I think that isn't a bad recipe. So don't forget, always do what you believe to be right. No lies, no deceptions, honesty and transparency, and ceaseless hard work. Nothing is achieved. The fellow who got up here, Brandon, was it, who played the violin, the reason he can play the violin so brilliantly is that he practiced. It is the only way it will be done. Work, work, work. I, of course, am still working because I've discovered I need the money. That's the truth of the matter. I need the money. In fact, I've discovered that money is the one thing keeping me in touch with my children. And that's actually, while I mentioned that, I think we could do one thing, and that is all of us who are here as students, and all of us who are here on the payroll, can we please applaud the parents and the grandparents who actually cough up the fees to make this whole thing run? Well done. What's going to happen now is, in a moment, I'm going to recite a little poem, and then we're going to have the prize giving. I do a lot of awards ceremonies. The last awards ceremony I hosted was for the British Funeral Directors, which was a funny event in its own way. Well, I shouldn't really say a funny event, but it was quite funny. The 2 top prizes, one was for the crematorium of the year. It was known as the creme de la creme. No, seriously. And the other prize, the sort of big prize at the end of the evening, was for thinking outside the box. So if you are a prize winner, the principal and I will hand out the prizes. And we, when the photograph is taken, don't be embarrassed, but we will go up on tiptoes. This is to make our shoulders come down, our tummies go in, and our chins come out. We'll look like winners, and we'll be almost the same height as the netball team and the rugby players. So please forgive us if we do that. It's just so that we look a little bit better in the pictures. And I'm going to end now with my little poem, if I may. I'm very interested in happiness, and I think you people have learnt how to be happy in life. There was a great man called Dr. Sigmund Freud. Freud was really the founder of analytical psychology, remarkable man. And he tried to sum up what you need to be happy. And he used to say, to be happy, all you need is to love and to work. And curiously, that's what you have found here. This place is a place where people love what they do, and in the best sense, they love one another. This is a place of fellowship, friendship, and hard work. To love and to work is all you need. And you people, I know some of you will be staying on, you're not in the year 13, but the people who are particularly thinking of them as you leave. This is the end of this particular journey, but I don't think the school will ever leave you. Curiously, our childhood, our youth, is in our head for the rest of our lives. And you've discovered something very good here, that in a sense is summed up by a poem by Hilaire Belloc. And he wrote this poem in Yorkshire, staying at a hotel in York. It's called Dedicatory Ode, and I'm just going to speak the last 4 lines of it to you that sum up for me the special nature of this prize giving, and particularly of this graduation day. From quiet homes and first beginning, out to the undiscovered ends, there's nothing worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends. Thank you for your laughter, and well done on the friendship that all you people have found at this wonderful school, Queen Ethelburgers. Well done.
Good afternoon. We now come to arguably the most important part of Speech Day and why we're all gathered here today, the presentation of prizes for both senior schools. We will be starting with prizes for Key Stage 4. Year prizes are awarded to students for outstanding achievement in their year group across a range of different subjects. Year 11 College Prize goes to Albina McKenna. The Year 10 College Prize goes to Alicia Moyer. The one-year GCSE College Prize goes to Ryo Suzuki. The Year 11 Faculty Prize goes to Douglas Sword. And the final Year 10 prize goes to Rebecca Simpson. Progress prizes are awarded to the student in each year group who have shown exceptional progress over the year. The Year 11 College Progress Prize goes to Dennis Budnik. The Year 10 College Progress Prize goes to Jerry Barr. The one-year GCSE College Progress Prize goes to Chloe Underwood. The Year 11 Faculty Progress Prize goes to Laura Goff. The Year 10 Faculty Progress Prize goes to Elizaveta Rileva. Kyle Lynn unfortunately can't be with us today, so I'll move on to the Faculty Foundation Progress Prize goes to Winnie Lee. We now move on to the subject prizes. These are presented to those students who, through dedication, commitment, and their own natural ability, excel in that particular subject. Beginning with the core subjects, in college, we have Anne Gunderson Acker for English. To collect the Maths Award, Tony Wang. The College Science Award goes to Annie Zhang. The Humanities Prize goes to Chiburukem Yugo Nagadi. The College Modern Foreign Languages Award goes to Catherine Kelly. In faculty, the English award goes to Gillian Yu. The Maths Award goes to Neto Chukwueke. And the Faculty Science Award goes to Thomas Moss. And now to the prizes for the optional subjects in college. Business Studies to Mikhail Medzidov. The Creative Arts Award for Music, Yihan Chen. And for computing, Johnny Lee. The Economics College Award goes to Kubi Q. option subjects in faculty, the Art and Photography Prize goes to Louis Mullin. The Faculty Business Studies Award goes to Ezinwa Ihead Ioa. Endiche, unfortunately, isn't here due to extenuating circumstances. So I'll move on to the next award in Faculty for Humanities, Poppy Bland. The Modern Foreign Languages Award goes to Jade Pearson. The Faculty Music Prize to Jason Turner. And the Faculty Performing Arts Prize to our own phantom, Jack Gallagher. Finally, for Key Stage 4, the prize for dedication to girls' sport over both schools goes to Neve Cody and dedication to the boys' sport, Jedediah Alexander. Without much further ado, I will now be handing over to the Head of College, Kevin Aldershaw, to present the sixth form prizes across the senior schools.
Good afternoon. Beginning with the Art Prize. Matthew is not afraid to try new things in his art, described fondly as a scavenger, employing chicken wire, plaster and tights at various points in his creations. Miss Philpott has referred to Matthew as an amazing art student, one of the best she has taught in 25 years. We are delighted to award him the Art Prize before he leaves us to study architecture at the University of Sheffield. We are confident that Helen is destined for great things. Achieving A grades across the board from her AS levels, she has shown dedication, intelligence and ability in her academic studies. Alongside this though, she is a thoroughly nice person, always offering to help staff and students and very heavily involved in charity fundraising. She is well deserving of the Biology Prize and has now excitedly bought her own dissecting kit in preparation to study medicine at the University of Leicester. Mikhail is one of the hardest working students that the business department has ever seen. Not only has he now secured himself a triple distinction star in his BTEC business course, this was done by gaining a perfect distinction in each one of his 18 units. Mikhail has an excellent understanding of the business world. We are pleased to award him the BTEC prize before he leaves us to study business management at Queen Mary University, London. Alex is a clear choice for the Business Studies Prize. Achieving an A-star at GCSE on a one-year programme, he went on to gain an impressive 93% in his AS Business exam last year. What we are really grateful to Alex for, though, is his fantastic dedication to the school. He is such a strong ambassador for us. He has taken part in promotional videos and attended seminars and school functions in Hong Kong. Alex is a student we have relied on, and it is with great thanks we award him the Business Prize before he goes on to study economics at University College London. I've never asked him whether he chose his English name as a result of his passion for chemistry, but Atom has certainly demonstrated this during his time in the sixth form. In achieving a silver certificate in the Chemistry Olympiad in Year 12, he has also shown us his ability. Atom is a well-deserving winner of the Chemistry Prize as he leaves us to take his place to study engineering at University College London. Siraj joined the school in 2010. He remains one of the politest and unassuming students you could hope to meet. Although you will never find him boasting about it, he can speak 3 languages, has achieved both his Bronze and Silver Duke of Edinburgh awards, and as a key member of the school's CCF contingent for the last 5 years, he's been able to realise his passion for flying and for jet engines. Siraj is the worthy winner of the Engineering Prize, and it is no surprise that he is planning to study aerospace engineering at Sheffield Hallam University. Stella is a model student. Her great sense of humour and the fact that she is always smiling and positive, as well as her clear ability in economics, has clearly impressed her teachers. She was a key member of the team that came runners-up in the Bank of England Challenge in Year 12 and has consistently performed at the highest level in her economics lessons. Stella is an obvious choice for the Economics Prize, and we send her with our best wishes. She takes up her place to study international management at Warwick University. Kiara is described as a lively adversary in a debate, one who can give impassioned arguments to get across her points of view. These skills have led to her being both an accomplished English language and literature student, and she has proven her ability to respond to any given text with academic rigour and a natural voice. Kiara is the winner of the Bronte Prize for English and leaves us to study medicine at the University of Chicago. Carol is a quietly confident student who has excelled in all areas of mathematics and statistics. She is a benchmark for all the other students in her class, all eager to compare their test results with hers, but all quietly resigned to the fact that they may not quite compete. Carol is the worthy winner of the Newton-Raphson Prize for Further Mathematics. She leaves us to study actuarial science at City University, London. Holly is a natural geographer and has a fantastic grasp of the subject. She achieved the highest marks in the year group in her AS course, a fantastic 197 out of 200, and has more talent than she realises. Holly fully deserves the Geography Prize. We send her with our best wishes as she returns to Scotland to study geography at the University of St Andrews. It is an exciting time to be a government and politics student, and Emeka has certainly enjoyed his course. He has entertained the class and his teacher with an enthusiastic approach, and his expressions of disbelief at some of the political activities taking place in the world today. We award him the Government and Politics Prize and wish him the best of luck as he leaves us to study management at the London School of Economics. Ella is a very gifted student. Not content with achieving the highest marks in Year 12 on her history exams, she also achieved the same feat in her government and politics ones. Ella is undoubtedly one of the hardest working students in school, will surely be successful at all she turns her hand to. Winning the History Prize, she leaves us to study International Relations and History at the London School of Economics. Vera's enthusiasm for ICT, coupled with her ability to instantly understand complex ideas, has meant that she's been a real asset on the course. She has a great business mind which she has used to good effect in her work and has meant she has secured a Distinction Star grade. We are very proud to hand her the ICT Prize before she leaves us to study Management and Information Technology at Lancaster University. Sharuk has been at Queen Ethelburgers for 6 years, and in that time has impressed his teachers with his strong work ethic and his keen intelligence. He has an inquiring mind and is known for interrogating his teachers until he is sure he has as much knowledge as possible on a topic. You can possibly see why Sharuk is the obvious candidate for the Law Prize. His interests lie, although on a slightly different direction. We wish him the best of luck as he leaves to study accounting and finance at the University of Warwick. Kitty is an incredible mathematician, scoring 100 out of 100 on each of her 3 pure maths modules at the end of Year 12, as well as gaining straight A's in her biology and chemistry AS qualifications. She has demonstrated her intelligence and commitment to her studies. Although winning the Mathematics Prize, she is focused on a career in medicine, and we wish her well as she goes on to take up a place to study biomedical science at University College London. Maria is an obvious choice for the Modern Foreign Languages Prize. A truly international student, she not only speaks Russian and English, but is on track for excellent grades in Spanish and French this summer. She has proven herself invaluable in the role as Deputy Head Girl, as well as supporting younger students as a peer mentor. A grateful thanks go to Maria, winning the Modern Foreign Languages Prize and leaving us to study Spanish and Management at King's College London. If this were a music awards ceremony, Alistair Blackshaw would now be presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award. He has given 18 years of unbroken service to Queen Ethelburgers, having joined the school at just 6 months old. During his time here, we have seen him grow from a boy that always forgot about his saxophone lessons to a young man that never misses one, dedicating most of his time to the music department and in turn becoming a skillful and accomplished musician. It is no surprise that today he receives the Music Prize before taking up his place to study Music Technology Systems at the University of York. Jasmine has performed in every play put on at the school since Year 7 and has studied BTEC Performing Arts in both Key Stage 4 and 5. She is now a talented theatre practitioner. Most recently has begun to explore storytelling and directing, working with Chapter House and King's Magna pupils to pass on her love of performing arts. Jasmine wins the Performing Arts Prize and has our best wishes as she goes on to study primary education at the University of Durham. Lulu achieved straight A's in 8 of her maths and statistics modules in Year 12, as well as A grades in AS Physics and Chemistry. There is not enough time to give a detailed account of all of her achievements while she's been with us, but a brief list includes being part of the Engineering Education Scheme and winning a Gold Crest Award, taking part in many STEM competitions, writing a science blog with 450 followers, being a member of the Wiki Influential Teens group, and being the youngest author for UCL's mathematical magazine Chalk Dust. Lulu has a great future ahead of her and is the worthy winner of the Physics Prize before taking up a place to study maths at Cambridge University. It is fair to say that Shelley is a perfectionist. The number of times she drafted and redrafted her UCAS personal statement is hard to count. Her perseverance has been impressive, working hard in all of her subjects, supporting her fellow students, even though working in a second language herself. Shelley takes away the Psychology Prize with our best wishes as she goes on to study psychology at King's College London. Jake is an exceptional athlete and rugby player. His positive attitude, willingness to help others, and ability to remain smiling no matter what have endeared him to staff and students alike. He has constantly volunteered to coach the younger students in Chapter House and done an excellent job with this. Jake has an exciting summer ahead of him. We wish him good luck as he embarks on training for the Under-20s Junior World Trophy, hoping to be selected to represent Hong Kong. Jake wins the Dedication to Boys Sport Prize and is going on to study sports performance at the University Centre Hartpury with an academy linked to Gloucester RFU. Lily has been an ever-present member of the netball team and has worked extremely hard to balance her sporting commitments with her academic studies. She's been an outstanding role model for all of the younger students. As part of the senior netball team, she's contributed to them this year, becoming the county champions, retaining both the regional and ISA netball championship titles, and winning the Association of Colleges Cup. Thank you, Lily, for that. We're pleased to award Lily the Dedication of Girls Sport Prize and wish her faster, and wish her well as she goes on to study management at the University of Nottingham.
We now move on to the school prizes. The Armitage Prize is awarded to an international student for their outstanding contribution to the school. Since joining us for the one-year GCSE course in Year 11, Maria has proved to be the sort of person who can rise to any challenge and provide support to staff and students in any given situation. Unfailingly cheerful and positive, she has worked extensively with Chapter House students, been ever present at open days and duties as a senior prefect, played the piano at major school events such as last year's speech day and last night's Year 13 leavers service, and demonstrated the utmost reliability when asked to meet visitors to the school. All of this whilst maintaining strong friendships across the collegiate and remaining committed to her academic studies. If we could offer her a job now, then we would, but unfortunately she has chosen to go to university instead. For this reason, we are delighted to award her the Armitage Prize as she heads off to study psychology at City University. George's achievements during his time with us deserve a high level of recognition. Passing 10 GCSEs and BTECs with a mixture of B, A and A star grades, and following this up with his BTEC diploma in sport and A-levels in mathematics and biology, his academic success has been substantial. Raising over £50,000 for the Candlelighters charity, continuing to play rugby, carrying the Olympic torch in 2012 and representing the school as a prefect in King's Magna, Key Stage 4 and in the sixth form, his contribution to Queen Ethelburgers and to society has been immense. Last but not least, his speeches at the Year 13 Leavers Service and at the King's Magna School birthday demonstrated talent for comic timing which will stand him in good stead in the future. Last night his presentation at the Leavers Service was one of many highlights. We are very pleased to present George with the Hill Standard Prize for being the best that he can with the gifts that he has before he leaves to study sport rehabilitation at St Mary's University, London. Gaining 2 A grades, 5 A star grades and an A star with distinction in Year 11 is a fantastic achievement. But add these to Shuri's 4 A star grades achieved 1 year early in Year 10 and it becomes outstanding. Given the demands of her Key Stage 4 and 6th form prefect roles, she could be forgiven for experiencing difficulties in managing her workload, but there is little evidence of it here. We are delighted to present her with the Collegiate Board Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Year 11 College for 2016. Not to be outdone, with 2 A grades, 6 A star grades, 1 A star with distinction at GCSE and 1 BTEC distinction star grade, Justin has also balanced his work with an exceptional level of support for the school through his contribution to charity work, gym and dance, young enterprise, food committee and as a peer mentor. We have great pleasure in presenting him with the Collegiate Board Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Year 11 Faculty for 2016. 12 months ago, we presented Megan with the Prize for Further Mathematics and summarised a few of her many achievements, most notably her acceptance into Mensa, charity work in India, participation in the Engineering Education Scheme, senior prefect role and winner of the Foundation Essay Prize. This year, she has continued that success. Since commencing her Masters in Engineering course at the University of Cambridge, she has accepted the Diamond Jubilee Scholarship from the Institute of Engineering and Technology, developed new skills in computing, and still found time for her interests in boxing and powerlifting. Returning to why we are here today, though, at the end of Year 13, Megan completed her school career with a remarkable 18 perfect scores in her A-level modules, achieving 1,993 UMS points out of a possible 2,000, and completing an extra mathematics module just in case one went wrong. It is for this reason that she returns today for us to award her the Collegiate Board Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Year 13 College 2016. Jevon's support for the school during his time with us was substantial. As deputy head boy in the faculty, he contributed on open days with charity work and was always one of our first choices as an ambassador for the school with visitors. Since leaving us, he has applied to the army for a place as an engineer, in addition to working in the construction industry and climbing Mount Kinabalu in Borneo. Gaining 5 distinction grades in BTEC Business, Engineering, Sport and the Diploma in Science. In keeping with today's theme of exceptional achievements, Jevon achieved an overall score of 2,670 points out of a maximum possible 2,700 points across his BTEC modules at the end of last year. We are therefore delighted to welcome him back to achieve the Collegiate Board Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Year 13 Faculty 2016. Anastasia has had an interesting life to date, living and studying across the globe in places such as Tbilisi, East London in South Africa, Fujairah, Johannesburg, Dubai and Milton Keynes. Finding herself in York for the sixth form, Anastasia threw herself into school life at QE, gaining a role as a peer mentor, raising money for charity and carrying out more academic activities such as her extended project qualification on diversity in children's media, for which she gained an A-star grade. Her obsession with Peppa Pig and her mission to grow an apple tree in her bedroom demonstrates her diverse range of interests, and we have greatly appreciated her contribution to the community at QE and her support for the collegiate as head girl. We are delighted to present Anastasia with the Principal's Prize for Head Girl, as she departs to study psychological and behavioural sciences at the University of Cambridge. Stephen sets extremely high standards for himself, academically and in his roles as captain of the senior rugby team and as head boy. With a keen interest in history, we can only anticipate that he will develop these skills into a career which involves being inside a building, rather than archaeology or conservation, given that in order to carry out his best work, he has to remove his shoes in order to be able to concentrate. This has included every examination during the A-level period, where he has left his shoes on a shelf outside the exam and displayed his odd socks to the invigilators to keep them entertained throughout the exams. We thank him for his contribution to QE during his time with us, and we wish him well as we present him with the Principal's Prize for Head Boy, before he leaves to study history at the University of St Andrews. The last cup is awarded to the winner of the house competition for 2016-17. Students are awarded house points for their approach to their studies, their contribution to activities, boarding and school life, their helpfulness and their support for the school during events such as concerts, plays and open days. Last year we had a runaway leader, gaining 32% of the house points in total. The other three houses though have fought back this year, and the gap between the winner and fourth place is much tighter, showing a much improved standard of competition. Having gained 27% of the total house points this year, I would like to invite the house prefects on stage to receive the cup on behalf of the winning house, which this year is Leminge. I'd now like to invite Anastasia to the stage for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Respected Giles Brandreth, our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and students, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of QE, and on my own behalf, we'd like to thank you for sharing some of your life and experiences with us today. At the end of the school year, it can be interesting to reflect on how the past year has gone, the things we've learned, the mistakes we've made, how we've grown, how we expect next year to go, and your speech today perfectly complements this. What struck me particularly is your message about being tested. As someone with an exam season that continues past the end of the school year, this seemed counterintuitive at first. Yet it's through these exams that we're able to succeed and achieve our goals. If we follow your advice, no matter what age we are, we should be able to achieve the best we can with the gifts we have, one of the key messages we receive in this school. Other important people who deserve a vote of thanks are teachers, students, academic and boarding staff, and all parents and friends. In particular, Beth and Gam, my roommates, and Amelia and Lulu, who I see so often, they may as well be. Without all of your support and encouragement and care, none of this would be possible. Once again, thank you, and please accept this gift on behalf of us all.
Ladies and gentlemen, and so we come to the end of our speech day celebrations. We're going to end with the school hymn, Thine Be the Glory. So in a few moments, can I ask that you stand? And then after the hymn, can you remain standing as we applaud out to our stage party? Thank you. Please stand.